Okay, we're still on our book called Shabbat, a day of creating yourself, right? A day to create yourself. We're on the category of generous. What does this mean? Shabbat can help us overcome the most destructive aspects of human nature. Pirkei Avot lists them as jealousy, the desire for physical pleasure, and the pursuit of honor, and tells us that they drive a person from the world. The common denominator here is self-centeredness, begrudging that which pertains to others, meaning jealousy, the relentless pursuit of self-gratification, desire, and valuing others only in as much as they provide recognition and attention to us, meaning pursuit of honor. It says the three worst things, and we learned about them already, that take a person out of this world is jealousy, desire, and the pursuit of honor. Yeah? I want to know that people should look at me in a certain way, talk about me a certain way. Yeah? Jealousy, I desire this, I desire that. Jealousy, I am jealous that he has this, he has that. And desire is, I want this, I want that. Yeah? So it says, generosity of spirit is the very opposite of selfishness. It is the willingness to give and share, to support and help. Being generous is the capacity to move beyond the self. Meaning, when somebody is self-centered, selfish, he wants for himself. Correct? Yeah? Right now we're going to have eggs. I want to get first. Yeah? We have cake. I want to eat the last cake. I want to eat the first cake, the last cake, whatever it is. This is called selfishness. When you give, what do you do?
Sorry? Selfish is only I have it, nobody else.
Yeah, well, exactly. So when you take the eggs, I'm gonna have the eggs and nobody
Nobody
else.
else gonna have it.
Okay, I understand, but I'm saying when you come up to the plate first. By the way, you can go first. I'm not saying, but it's. Let's say there's only two eggs there, yeah, and the person takes it. It's a little bit selfish of you, but it's okay. In our group, it's okay because we know we're not selfish. But at the end of the day, when a person gives, it's the opposite of selfishness. So he says you have to be generous. Generous. This way, you're not going to be selfish. Yeah. Self-centeredness is paradoxically self-destructive. It drives a person from this world, meaning from both this world and the next. The commentators explain that jealousy, desire, and the pursuit of honor destroy a person's quality of life. Jealousy wreaks both physically, psychologically, and emotional damage. When a person is jealous, it messes his internals up. Why? Because he's looking at the other person and he's seeing how big a house he has, how beautiful wife he has, how nice car he has, how nice clothing he has, and inside it just kills him, right? Exactly. Why I don't have it? Why I don't have it? Why I don't have it? He has a house, but it's attached. He has a car, but it's a regular, Nissan, whatever. Understand? So he destroys himself from within, right? And he also destroys himself to the world to come. Why? Because Hashem tells us we're not supposed to be jealous, right? One of the commandments. He says, it devours a person from inside. Unbridled self-indulgence can lead to excesses that are damaging to a person's physical and emotional health. The relentless pursuit of honor causes conflict between people, which contributes to peace of mind. He says when somebody is self-indulgent, what does self-indulgent means? Meaning, I have a piece of cake, but I want more than just a piece of cake. I want a half a cake. You know what I mean? I have a wife, but I want just more. I want more than a wife. I want a girlfriend. I want another one. I want this one. I have, money, but I want more money. I have a car. I want another car. I want another car. Meaning, it's Глаза голодные. Meaning, no. That's desire for more. Desire. Jealousy. Why he has? Why he has, I don't have. That's jealousy. Desire, I have a car. I'm going to go buy another car. I'm going to work more to make it. Meaning it's always, I want. Yeah? He says this makes a person not only disturbed in this world, but he takes him out of the other world as well. Same thing with honor. Honor is a very, very big problem. Why? Because why is he talking to me like that? Why is he looking at me like that? Why doesn't he respect me? Why does he need this? Why not that? Why not? It's a constant. Wherever he goes, he's bothered by the fact that people do not, please sit down, please, this, that. Meaning, it's always in his conscience. It says these three driving forces within the human being are also the root of much wrongdoing. Jealousy deters people from dealing ethically, compassionately, and sensitively with others, right? When you're jealous of somebody, you're not going to be nice to him. You're sure not going to look at him favorably. Why? Because you're thinking, why he has and I don't have. You hear? So he says, therefore, that's no good. It says, when people are consumed with self-gratification, they act in ways counter to the innate sanctity and dignity with which God has bestowed upon human beings. And the crave and pursuit of honor and recognition drives people to violate the most basic values and principles and to betray their conscience. Together they drive a person not just from this world, but from the world to come. Same thing he says, when a person has certain desires, he goes counter to what Hashem does, right? Because God forbid, somebody calls me up and says, I love my wife, but I also desire other women. I said, it's okay. I said, it's a normal thing. I said, many people feel that way, but you have to control those feelings. Listen, why are you guys laughing? You all feel that way.
Yeah.
If you're going to see now a beautiful woman,
Animal,
it's not like you don't love your wife. You love your wife, but you also desire to love this woman. She's a beautiful woman. Instead, it's a natural, instinctive feeling that Hashem put on us, right? This way that we can propagate, right? Meaning, we can multiply. It says the Torah records how these negative forces caused catalytic destruction among the early generations of human history. The first sin of history was caused by the desire, when Adam and Chava ate the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge. In the following generation, it was jealousy that spurred Cain to take the life of his brother Hevel, whose sacrifices were favored by God. The destruction of the flood was brought about by a generation steeped in jealousy, which led to theft, unethical behavior, and even violence, and also self-gratification expressed in the rampant sexual immorality that categorized that generation. The generations of the Tower of Babel suffered their downfall in pursuit of honor, in their obsession with building an enormous edifice to bring them fame and glory. I don't have to repeat these things, but Cain and Abel was jealousy. Why Hashem took his, not mine? I don't understand. What was wrong with mine? You understand? And therefore he kills him. The first one.
His brother kills.
That case of because he has a two sisters.
Again, whatever it is, it's jealousy. It was jealousy.
What brought the jealousy?
Whatever it is, Kohen, we're not gonna say what, we're gonna say this is it. In the beginning, the desire to get the fruit of knowledge, fruit of the tree of knowledge, it was a desire. I want that. You hear? Meaning if we do not,
That was Ta'ava.
desire, ta'ava, correct? So he says, Babel also, we want to make the biggest eta. Why? Because we want to show who we are. We're a powerful nation. Here, Babel, the Tower of Babel. These forces of self-centeredness can be difficult to overcome because they are ingrained in human nature. In fact, the reason that Pirkei Avot singles out these three specific forces is because God has planted them within us, and we are naturally prone to them. At the same time, God has given us the means to overcome these forces and become more generous people. One of these means is Shabbat. He says, who put this jealousy and desire and crave for honor? Hashem. Because we need these. We need these characteristics in order to function as a normal human being. However, when it goes out of control, that's where the problem is. You hear? Atomic energy is very helpful. The atom.
What is it?
Atomic energy.
I don't know. When I hear I won't talk sometimes.
It's very important. That's the
it's a lot of
excuse.
energy.
That's the excuse that the Iranians using. We need atomic energy to fuel our economy, to this, to make the But by the way, it's also a damaging thing if it goes on over the control. Correct? Meaning a person that is healthy reproductively, right? It's very important. Why? To reproduce. However, if his reproduction if his reproductive senses are overly active and he's not able to control them, then that's a problem. You understand? Because he's going to now move on to different areas of exercise. It says God has given us the incredible gift of Shabbat as the counterbalance to jealousy, desire, and the pursuit of honor, symbolized by the 3 holy meals of Shabbat, and as a force of nurturing generosity within us. How does Shabbat counter these forces of negativity? Meaning, where is it that Shabbat is countering this 3, jealousy, honor, and desire? Firstly, Shabbat helps us control and channel our physical desires. We don't repress sensory pleasure. It's a natural part of who we are. We harness it in healthy and positive ways and connect it to sanctity and a higher purpose. When physical desire controls us, we become overwhelmed by it, unable to even enjoy it. But when we can control physical desires, it brings us joy. You hear what he says? Animals, they also have physical desires.
They don't control.
They also have ta'ava. You know what I mean? He wants to kill. The lion wants to kill anybody he sees. You hear? So therefore, he's very destructive. Right? A lion is very destructive. However, again, because he wants.
When he's already satisfied,
But you gotta know one thing. If you're in his area and he doesn't like you to be there, he's also gonna take you down, even if he's not hungry.
But you cross his line.
Exactly.
Then
So
it's key.
again.
But if you're not gonna
So
go there,
he says, what do we need Shabbat for? Shabbat we need for control, right? So therefore, a person what?
But how Shabbat is going to control our desire?
So let me tell you. We have desire to eat on Friday night. This Friday night you didn't want to eat. It was a hunger, no? It was a hunger, no?
Yeah.
Oh, we were very hungry. Now guess what? Shabbat came in, meaning the fast is out, but we're still in shul. We're still doing Shemona Esrei. You're still not allowed to drink.
You
Why?
control yourself.
You didn't do kiddush yet. So what are you doing? You're controlling yourself for another 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour. We were allowed to eat at 5:09, but I ate about 6 o'clock. By the time we came and this and that. Meaning by the time you come in, 5:15, 5:20, you get out of the shul. By the time you walk, by the time... Okay, that's you. You hear what I'm saying? These are controls. In the morning too, first we gotta do shacharit, then we gotta do kiddush, then we can eat. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the
But
force.
it's only ta'avat of achila.
So let's see.
What about others?
Let's see. Shabbat also helps us overcome jealousy. How?
How?
It does this by ingraining in us trust in God, symbolized by the 2 challah that are on the Shabbat table for each of the meals, which remind us how He looked after our ancestors in the desert. Trust in God entails a belief in a world of abundance, that everything is the way it should be by divine plan, that we have it as we need it, and what others have it is what they need. By making peace with our lives and what we have in this way, we can overcome the force of jealousy. See, unfortunately, we as human beings that don't want to listen, right? We understand the concepts, but we don't apply them. You hear? This guy can sit there, see? Well, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Even for him it's difficult.
Yeah. You see what he says? He says, when we're in Shabbat, and we have the 2 chalot,
Rulers have problems against smaller guys. I'm asking
Yeah.
you. Do you
Listen.
hear what you're saying?
the shoe repair guys right now are more richer than the jewelers. I can,
How do you
list
know?
I could list you.
You
I
know
could list
why?
you. I could list.
Because he won't.
How much minares?
Understand?
Yeah. You hear what I'm saying? What he's saying on Shabbat, right? What do? We sit in our homes. Since we're already keeping Shabbat, he says you have to understand. Why are you keeping Shabbat? Because Hashem said so. If Hashem said so, then guess what? Whatever you have is what Hashem said for you. Whatever he has is what Hashem said for him. Whatever the other one has is...
jealousy.
Can you relax? Can you relax? Right now you're not talking. You want, I'll put the
Yeah.
video for you,
Video, yeah.
and you can talk. You hear? So what he's saying is, Shabbat makes you understand that the world is not random. If a person is made to be a billionaire, then that's what Hashem made him be. If he made a person be a millionaire, then that's what Hashem made him be. If a person made him a
Hashem made.
thousandaire, then that's what Hashem made. You hear?
So
And
if you
therefore,
know that,
we have to
why aren't you jealous?
Why?
we have to internalize it and accept it and work with it. You understand? And that's what Shabbat teaches.
Better not to talk.
Shabbat also helps us contain our need for honor and recognition. How? Shabbat cultivates humility in us, helps us recognize God's greatness, thereby enabling us to set aside our pursuit of honor. Being humble is recognizing that we are not superior to others. We are equal, created in God's image, and therefore honor and recognition are illusory. And any attempt he says honor and recognition are an illusion. They're an illusion. Yeah? And any attempt to lord over others is sheer vanity. I read one other book. He says, how does everybody die? We all die in the same grave. No clothes, no nothing. Okay, nowadays maybe his casket is a little bit nicer than your casket because now people are
Instead of give money to yeshiva.
now people are using a little bit nicer caskets. Maybe he has a slightly better place that he paid $100,000 in Israel instead of $10,000 here in Queens or whatever. But at the end of the day, the person himself, the body himself, goes naked like any other person. You hear? They wash him the same way. They dip in the same mikvah. He comes out. He goes, and when he's going to go to the next world, guess what? He comes there with nothing. The only thing that he has is be'emet the mitzvot and the chesed and all the religious duties that he did. That he does have. That he has a package. It's a spiritual package, and yes, you do come there. But as far as physical packages, you go with zero.
No.
So therefore, at the end of days,
In Israel, they don't bury you with the casket.
at the end of days, we're all equal. Yes, right now we look a little bit different. He looks better, he looks richer, he lives in a nicer house, he this and that, but that doesn't make any difference. Why? Because this is a very temporal thing. It's 70, 80, 90 years. Eternity is going to be completely different. So therefore, if you're here for a certain amount of time and you're not in such a great position, okay, don't worry about it. That doesn't mean anything. You still work on your spirituality because why? At the end of the day, it's who has the biggest spiritual basket, not physical basket. Because the physical basket is going to be left here. Shabbat is the divine formula to help us overcome the three destructive forces of jealousy, desire, and honor. Rooted in self-centeredness, Shabbat nurtures within us the counterforce of selfishness, a spirit of generosity and benevolence of transcending the self. Yeah? So Shabbat Be'ezat Hashem will help us understand that we are no better than anybody else. That we should not be jealous because whatever Hashem gave us, He gave us. And what He gave him, He gave him. You hear? And as far as the desires,
And Shabbat's supposed to help us.
absolutely.
supposed to
Because why? We just explained.
You learn.
Yeah, but listen, we have a lot of.
How many books have we touched on together? Still doesn't get through to you. Why? Not through us, yeah? Why? Because we don't want to internalize it. We don't
But
we
that gets
we hear, but it just
Yeah.
During this-
it goes whoop to the other thing.
Medrash.
Baruch Adonai Olam, Amen.